Hello and welcome to the Feminine Frame. My name is Natalie, and today we are going to be talking about alphas and betas. If you spend any time at all on social media, you might be hearing a lot about alpha males to an even annoying and comical degree. So what is an alpha male? And for that matter, what's a beta? So the alpha male is the guy who all the beautiful women are attracted to and want to be with. The beta is the man that those same women use for money after the alpha Chad they pine for dumps him. Or so the saying goes. So are alphas and betas even a real thing? One step outside into the real world and you will see countless variations of men. Reality is so much more complex and varied than the Chad versus the virgin memes. Now that we have established that there are actually more than just two men in the world, do alphas and betas even exist? I would say let's think of it more of a spectrum than your alpha, your beta. So there are alpha characteristics and there are beta characteristics, and every guy is going to have a blend of each. If he has developed more alpha traits, then someone could maybe define him as an alpha. And if he has more beta traits, then maybe he could be classified as beta. So the alpha. What are these juicy alpha traits that all the young men are trying to emulate? An alpha is a man who displays traits that women are almost universally attracted to. These include things like leadership, strength, success, wealth, confidence, charisma, having a direction in life. These are all traits that women find attractive. Successfully securing a man with these traits has historically led to better survival rates for a woman and her offspring. So to be alpha, a man should have physical strength, emotional strength, and strength of character. He knows who he is and what he values. He respects himself and he does not tolerate the disrespect of others, especially not his wife. In return, he keeps control of his own emotions and does not lash out at others. That is something that I think a lot of people misunderstand, but I would say to be fairly characterized as an alpha, you must have emotional control. The alpha male generally knows where he wants to go in life and is actively taking steps to achieve his goals. He has enough charisma and social savvy to get cooperation from his peers. This man also has the leadership skills to see and bring out the best in others. Now, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily a social butterfly. You can still be introverted, but this introversion does not mean that you're awkward. It does not mean that you don't like other people. So this unwavering commitment to himself, his goals, and his values often brings along success and wealth. And those, I would say, are more byproducts. Now, all of the alpha traits discussed so far are ones that would make a wonderful partner for any woman. But anything can be taken too far, including being alpha. If you are caught up in trying to secure yourself an alpha man, then there are a few different alpha types that you need to be aware of and avoid, I would say. You will want to be cautious of men who display dark triad characteristics. So dark triad personality traits are narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. All of these are technically alpha traits. They show an unwavering commitment to one's own self and goals. These traits are seen in much higher proportion in successful men like lawyers, surgeons, and politicians. Now, like alphaness, dark triad traits can be exhibited on a scale. For example, a surgeon who is able to emotionally detach from his patients and the outcome can see better success in his career and could still be a potentially wonderful partner if he is able to get back in touch with those emotions and care about others. Another example, say, of Machiavellianism would be the shark lawyer who can really be cutthroat in the courtroom, or a narcissist actor who is maybe a little bit too full of himself. These are examples of people who might display some dark triad traits, but could still be good partners if they are able to still emotionally connect with others. But this is still something to be aware of and on the lookout for. A man who shows narcissism, Machiavellianism, or psychopathy to any sort of great degree is not going to make a good husband for you. I don't care how much money he makes. Throw that fish back in the pond. He is not for you. Now, another category of alphas that I want you to all be aware of and beware of are the imposters. A man can easily fake a few alpha traits for a night, or even within a very short relationship. He can work out, he can dress nicely, he can have a nice car. He might take you to a fancy restaurant and give you gifts to dazzle you. This fake alpha might brag about how successful he is. He might even learn a few pickup lines and be charming. These things are easy for a man to fake with a new woman. What is not easy to fake over a long period of time is emotional control, generosity of spirit, strength of character, and true success. This is yet another reason why it is a good idea for a woman to take careful consideration in vetting a man. Take the time to get to know a man and wait for his commitment before having sex. You will avoid many of these fake alpha guys who are trying to bed you and run. So if those are the alphas, who are the betas? If the alpha is the ideal man, the beta is the one who displays lower value characteristics. This man might lack confidence or discipline or strength. A big one would be if he's supplicating, if he just says things and does things to get you to like him, if he has no strength of character on his own. If he shows high displays of emotionality, he might have anger problems, complain a lot, or be overly sensitive. The beta shows a lack of drive and might not have many goals or ambitions. A beta man may or may not have resources. Some betas are going to be your proverbial basement dwellers of internet lore. But a beta can also distinguish himself in his career and be quite well off. And he might also be very willing to use his full bank account to compensate for his lack elsewhere. Sometimes these guys are called beta bucks. Now, it is easy to get caught up in the alpha equals good, beta equals bad paradigm. A well-rounded beta could potentially have a lot to offer a woman. A beta could be considered traditionally nerdy by the general population, but he can also be well respected within his own circle of peers. Think within a tech career or in academia, things like that. A beta who has developed any basic social skills will have the capacity to offer comfort when you need it. And this is sometimes lacking with the alpha male. I would say a really strong alpha, a really strong leader, is going to be aware of others' emotions because he is a good leader. But sometimes alphas can kind of get caught up in their own drive and ambition and not notice when others are in pain or needing comfort. And so that's why they say that sometimes betas are better comforters than alphas. Betas are also likely to be generous with their resources in order to secure the companionship of even a moderately attractive woman. They might even be willing to share those resources with a woman who is considered conventionally unattractive. Now, while your beta man might lack natural leadership tendencies, he could make up for that in cooperation. An ideal alpha partner will take your opinions and counsel into consideration because that's what he is. He's a good leader. But the beta might also do this because he simply doesn't know what to do and because he has a very cooperative nature. He is used to seeking feedback. He might never be the strong, stoic leader that you always dreamed of, but betas can still be kind and funny and compassionate and generous. Bottom line, should you be looking for the millionaire entrepreneur with a six-pack or the nerdy tech guy with a bobblehead collection? The truth is that you should be looking for a man with a balanced blend of alpha and beta traits. You should be looking for an alpha who values and respects you. He's a natural leader and takes you into consideration when he is building his life. He has drive and ambition enough to excel in his chosen career and hobbies. This man is not willing to deviate from his morals, values, or mission. He commands the respect of others and you. But this man also maybe has a little bit of the beta in him. He is happy to share his time and resources with a woman who adds value to his life. The man you are on the lookout for should be compassionate and willing to offer you support and comfort when you need it. So, just as not all men are cookie cutters, neither are all women. You might find that you have certain strengths and deficits. You are going to want to seek out a man who balances and complements you, regardless of if those traits are considered alpha or beta. Seek a man whose vision and values you support. Remember that real life isn't as clear as this black and white alpha-beta trope. While this can be a tool for clarifying characteristics to look out for, there are bad alphas out there and there are bad betas out there. Sometimes red pill women get too caught up in being submissive and get taken advantage of. Do not select a man who lacks control or is controlling. Avoid men who lack empathy, are unable to control their emotions, are controlled by addictions, and who have no aim or direction in life. And this applies to alphas as well as betas. So as you can see, me personally, I'm not too caught up on who's an alpha and who's a beta. I don't go around in real life looking at men and say, ooh, that one's an alpha, that one's a beta. And as you look for a man, you are going to be looking for a man who complements you, regardless of whether others think that he's an alpha or a beta. Look for those important characteristics like leadership and emotional control, generosity. But if he has a bobblehead collection, that is not important.